This show was first broadcast on Free FM 89.0, Hamilton, New Zealand's community access radio station. For more information on our station and our wide range of programs, visit freefm.org.nz.
The music that they're planning to use to crumble the morals of America is this rotten, filthy, dirty, lewd, lascivious junk called rock and roll.
A weekly hour of 60s underground music from around the world. Retrospect 60s Garage Punk Radio. Great 60s obscurities, podcast via freefm.org.nz and iTunes, and spreading the love via facebook.com/Retrospect Garage Punk Radio.
Rock and roll groups seem to be going further and further out, particularly with their names.
Once again to Retrospect 60s Garage Punk radio show and podcast. I'm Phil Gray and this is episode 565, and this is the weekly radio show and podcast which focuses on obscure 60s garage rock, garage punk, freakbeat and psychedelia. This episode we are all about obscure 60s garage. We started off with an obscure band out of Davenport, Iowa. Together in 1967, high school students Dave Newman and Craig Hute were in a band called The Blazers. They decided to form a new original band and they called it The Contents Are. They gigged around Cedar Rapids, Iowa and Rock Island, Illinois. Then in April 67 went into a studio called Fredlow. Recorded 2 tracks, including the one we had. It's called I Don't Know. It appears on volume 4 of the Quagmire series, The Contents Are.
The age of bobby socks and ice cream sodas is gone.
Retrospect.
More obscure 60s garage, this time a band out of Youngstown, Ohio, together for a decade from 1965 onwards. They're called The Next of Kin. They recorded for United Audio. This one released January 1968. The B-side cover of Neil Young's Mr. Soul, or Buffalo Springfield's Mr. Soul. Here is the A-side. A Lovely Song from Next of Kin.
Wash my mind of life you made. Tell me what I cannot say. Fill my soul, my mind with fear. Dancing for me. I love this song. I love this song. Melodies contain a burning hunger I can't explain. On a magic ship, please come to here. The sweet tempting sound of my lovely song. I love this song.
There are mamas and daddies today that know how to turn their children loose to go to the dance, and young people that know how to dance today but don't know how to do that which is right.
Retrospect, 60s garage punk, garage rock and psychedelia.
Told him a land, he called it a place for everyone, and you can find their privacy. Said I could see this place for me, it must be the one place to be. Direct me there. He said you just can't get there from here. Not you can't get there from like a fool. Said, listen, old man, I'm bigger than you. One more time, said I, tell me where. Said you just can't get there from here. That's ridiculous. You can't get there from here. Tell me, I wanna know. You can't get there from here. You can't
just the lyrics, it's the beat.
Retrospect, 60s garage punk, garage rock and psychedelia. Sticking with Retrospect 60s Garage Punk Show, all obscure 60s garage this week. The Next of Kin, a lovely song topping the set. Then The Deacons. They're out of Tacoma, Washington, 1966, a track called You Can't Get There From Here. Obscure band, I have no information about them, but I do about the third band. They are from right here in New Zealand, and you can see them on our Facebook and Insta. Just look for Retrospect Garage Punk. The band is called Tom Thumb. Many covers to their name, including Otis Redding's Respect, The Small Faces, What You Gonna Do About It, and also a fine cover of the 13th Floor Elevators, You're Gonna Miss Me, and the track we had, Slim Harpo's Got Love, banned by the New Zealand Broadcasting Commission for unsuitable lyrical content, as was at least one other of their tracks. Anyway, Tom Thumb from Wellington, New Zealand, with Got Love. Retrospect 60s Garage Punk Radio. Podcast via all good podcasting providers and facebook.com/Retrospect Garage Punk Radio.
That a moral decay is spreading through our country and our society. This same type of rot and decay caused 16 of the 19 major civilizations to vanish from the earth.
Well, here's probably the best known band in this episode, The Brogues. They're from Merced, kind of halfway between Fresno and San Francisco. Formed 1964, released 2 regionally successful singles in their brief time together. Most notably, their cover of I Ain't No Miracle Worker. The Brogues very much influenced by The Pretty Things and The Animals. And here they are. Don't Shoot Me Down from The Brogues.
You, baby, it was me you were trying to please. Now make a dog cry, woman, the way you brought me to my knees. Yeah, I was really hung on you, child, and I believed you when you said you wouldn't play games. I keep hoping, but all you pretty women turn out to be just the same. Don't shoot me down. Don't shoot me down. Ah, yeah. you're nothing I see, nothing like you said. And now that I know all about you, I just wish I was happily dead. I'm crying for you, pretty baby, but I tell you, woman, I ain't gonna cry no more. I'm gonna build a house all around your memory. I'm gonna slam the door. Don't shoot me down. Don't shoot me down. Well, don't shoot me down. 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 Don't shoot me down.
Well, I think it's quite clearly obvious. It's utterly disgusting.
Retrospect, 60s garage punk, garage rock, and psychedelia.
Think I got myself a sad situation. Girl, I'm picking up on your bad vibrations. If our affair is coming to an end, there's things that I think you ought to know, my friend. I won't be down, oh no. I won't hang around, oh no. 'Cause there's lots more where you came from. Lots more girls around where you came from. Lots more where you came from. Never get to put me down. Girl, I think you need some fast correction, 'cause I can see you going in the wrong direction. I've been there before. I don't have to go. I got other things to do and other things to know. And I won't be down, oh no. I won't hang around, oh no. 'Cause there's lots more where you came from. Lots more girls around where you came from. Lots more where you came from. Never get to put me down. No, no, no. Oh yeah, there's lots more where you came from. Lots more girls around. You're gonna be so lonely. Lots more where you came from. Never get to put me down. Oh yeah, there's lots more where you came from. Lots more girls around where you came from. Lots more where you came from. Never get to put me down. Lots more where you came from.
Hi, this is Brian from Stone Ridge, New York, and I'm loving the Retrospect 60s Garage Punk Show. Keep the good tunes coming, Phil.
When I was 14, I was too young for you. You were just somebody I knew and cared nothing about. I didn't want you when I was 14, couldn't resist you when I was 15. Now I can have you at 16. So it's a lonely 16 for me. When I was 15,
more great 60s garage punk. Set of 4 great garage tracks, The Brogues, Don't Shoot Me Down, followed by a band called The Wanted. They are out of Detroit, released 8 songs across 2 labels, A&M and the Detroit Sound. The track we had, Sad Situation, B-side of the East Side Story single, released 1968 on Detroit Sound. The Wanted, Sad Situation. Then we had Anne Riley and the Echo Men. Obscure for sure. Anne Riley, 1960s singer from Sydney, Australia, became very popular on Sydney television. 1964, she joined with the Echo Men and released 1 single for EMI called Lonely 16 out of Australia. Anne Riley and the Echo Men. And finally in the set, a band called The Few out of Chicago, recorded for a label called Maestro. Very obscure, January 1967 release. Super rare. We had the A-side called Escape. And that's taken from the Back from the Grave Volume 5 comp. For more great 60s garage punk, find Retrospect wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, let's go global. Starting off in Italy with a band out of Rome called The Bumpers. Fascinating story here. The Bumpers performed in what's described as a rock beat mass called the Mass of the Young, La Messa di Giovanni, which premiered in Rome in a chapel in April of 1966 to a large public gathering in the presence of mass media in the form of TV crews. So this event also featured 2 other groups. One of them was Iberitas, and it caused enormous controversy in the Catholic Church, who were attempting to modernize its liturgy. This new beat mass was hugely successful with a young audience, but the Vatican hierarchy was unimpressed. Their response described as unexpectedly negative and swift. The band members in the Bumpers and the other groups were excommunicated. There was a proposed tour, which was canned immediately. That tour was going to include the Albert Hall. All the sponsors and venues pulled out immediately, under pressure, I'm sure. And the bands, including the Bumpers, were not even able to get gigs in small Italian towns. So swift action from the Vatican, an organisation not known for taking swift action on pretty much anything that matters.
The recordings were released as the Mass of the Young, La Messa di Giovanni, as a record. Cult following resulted, and it was reissued on a label called Roman Records. Anyway, that's the story of the Bumpers. I don't believe the track I have was part of that liturgy, but here it is. Bumper to Bumper from Italy's The Bumpers.
Zaczekaj, nie odchodź mnie. to zrobię sam. Nie zostawię mnie. Nie zostawię mnie. Nie zostawię mnie. Nie zostawię mnie. Nie zostawię mnie.
This music can be coarse, fabulous.
Retrospect, 60s garage punk, garage rock and psychedelia.
No sé qué siento, es una sensación extraña que entra en mí. No sé qué siento, no sé qué siento, no sé por qué, no sé por qué. Solo en ti pienso. Será el amor, eso que me hace pensar todo el día solo en ti. No sé qué siento, no sé qué siento, no sé por qué, no sé por qué, solo en ti pienso. ¿Por qué será que a tu lado yo me siento muy feliz? Solo con verte, niña, junto a mí. ¿Qué siento? No sé qué siento, es una sensación extraña que entra en mí. No sé qué siento, no sé qué siento, no sé por qué, no sé por qué, solo en ti pienso. Será el amor, eso que me hace pensar todo el día solo en ti. No sé qué siento, no sé qué siento, no sé por qué, no sé por qué, solo en ti pienso. ¿Por qué será que a tu lado yo me siento muy feliz? Solo con verte, niña, junto a mí. No sé qué siento, no sé qué siento.
You're with Phil Gray on Retrospect, 60s garage punk show.
And he's got this high approval rating, so why don't I have a high approval rating?
That is Global Garage, starting off in Italy with the bumpers, then over to Poland. A band called Piek Leni, which translates, I'm reliably told, thanks to Google Translate, as the 5 lines. A band fronted by brothers Tadeusz and Roman Mroz. They recorded 2, what's described as 4s. I assume these mean 4-track EPs, but they didn't get much recognition from audiences and only were together for 2 years. So Piek Leni, the 5 lines, a track called, I'll give this a go, Dlaczego Dziś, out of Poland. Then we had a band out of Spain, 1966 release, 45 RPM 7-inch EP called Holidays in Mallorca. The band is called Els Mallorcans and is described as a mix of garage, freakbeat and pop from Mallorca. So Els Mallorcans with No Sé Qué Siento. And finally, Conjunto Misterio, recorded for Decca in Portugal, a 7-inch 45 RPM EP from these guys as well. Very obscure band though, Conjunto Misterio with their cover of course, The Kinks, Tired of Waiting.
It makes us look bad, but they say it's good.
Retrospect, 60s garage punk, garage rock and psychedelia. More global garage. Now we go to Central and South America. Starting off with Los Sharps, fronted by a guy called Miguel Angel. Don't have any information really about Los Sharps, but this one did appear on Rare Mexican Cuts of the 60s. Los Sharps out of Mexico, long overdue for another cover of Gloria.
Quiero decirles algo de mi novia. Ustedes saben que ha de volver. Aunque ella esté enojada conmigo, tendrá que volver aquí, sí. Justamente a mí. Con ella yo me siento muy bien, yeah. Sépanlo, con ella yo me siento muy bien. El nombre de ella es... el nombre de ella es... Sí, el nombre de ella es... Siempre con ella yo debo estar. Yeah, 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 yeah. Cuando salíamos juntos, qué felices nos sentíamos. Y ustedes lo saben, yeah. ¿Recuerdan cuando salía a la escuela? Yo siempre la acompañaba. Pero ha de volver corriendo a donde yo estoy. Volverá a mi casa. Ella tocando para que le abra mi puerta. Y óiganlo, estará aquí muy pronto en donde yo la espero. El nombre de ella es... El nombre de ella es... Gloria. Sí, el nombre de ella es... Gloria. Para toda la vida estaremos juntos, sí. Gloria. Yeah, 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 yeah. Gloria. Y seremos muy felices, sí. Gloria. Muy bien, yeah, vamos, yeah.
I have been disappointed with some others. Mexico was worse. It's terrible.
Retrospect, 60s garage punk, garage rock and psychedelia.
Eu só tenho uma ilusão: conquistar o seu coração. Meu destino quis escolher. Não deixes esta ilusão morrer. sei o que é sofrer por alguém. Tenho receio de saber que um dia podes me deixar por outra alguém. Vivo na imensa solidão, à espera da luz do seu coração. Lágrimas não tenho, mas sei o que é sofrer por um alguém. Tenho receio de saber um dia que podes me deixar por outra alguém. Vivo na imensa solidão, à espera da luz do seu coração. À espera da luz do seu coração. À espera da luz do seu coração.
Hi Phil, my name is Peter Klubeck. I'm an Austrian living in Luxembourg, and you're listening to Retrospect, 60s garage punk show and psychedelia from all over the world.
Te querré. Temprano en la mañana Lucila me encontré, le dije ay qué pena que solito me quedé. Lucila, no te vayas por favor, te lo pido de rodillas, no me vayas a dejar. Mañana Lucila me encontré, le dije ay qué pena que solito me quedé. Lucila, no te vayas por favor, te lo pido de rodillas, no me vayas a dejar. Te lo pido de rodillas, no me vayas a dejar. Te lo pido de rodillas, no me vayas a dejar.
Three tracks from South America, Central America. Los Sharps, Gloria, out of Mexico. Then The Sparks, recorded on a label called Beverly. They're out of Brazil. Closing track from a 4-track, 7-inch EP called Ilusão from The Sparks out of Brazil. Finally in the set, Los Speakers. Third of 3 bands I have little information about. That one is off a comp called Delinquentes, Jóvenes Punks de América Latina. I think that means delinquent juvenile punks of Latin America. That compilation's a release on Martian Records out of France, 2001. Los Speakers with Lucila out of Colombia. Back to the States and the Bronx. Jerry and the Gems, recorded for Hey Ho Records, 7-inch 45 RPM single. This is the A-side. It is Last Stop.
Sexual sadism, strange flagellation cults, erotic, confessions of a sadist. What is fetishism? The pleasure of pain, the worship of the whip, sexual problems of a masochist, how to buy a whipping, famous transvestites, are cross-dressers afraid of sex? These titles lead us to an even more bizarre but nevertheless common product.
Retrospect, 60s garage punk, garage rock and psychedelia.
Have love, whoa, babe, I will travel. I have love, whoa, babe, I will travel. Baby, if you need a love and man, we'll travel. I traveled away from Mexico, trying to find a girl to love me so. No matter where I go, no matter where I be, I just can't find a girl to satisfy me. Have love, whoa, babe, I will travel. I have love, whoa, babe, I will travel. Baby, if you need a love and man, we'll travel. I travel all day and every night, look for someone to hold me tight. I've got arms for you, baby, I'm waiting for you. I've even got a suitcase full of kisses to have love. Whoa, babe, I will travel. I have love. Whoa, babe, I will travel. Baby, if you need a love and man, we'll travel. I might come by boat, I might come by train. Baby, I might even take the plane. If I can, I'll get there that way. Look for me to walk in any old day. Have love. Whoa, babe, I will travel. I
loving, baby. Whoa, yeah, I want some loving, baby. I need some loving.
We had Jerry and the Gems with a single out of 1966 called Last Stop, followed by Sano and the Saints. Sano was in fact Santo Cincotta. The band out of Milwaukee, numerous personnel changes during their lineup. We had a track, a B-side, from their Mercy Mercy single recorded for Pentagon Records, released 1966. The B-side, of course it was Have Love Will Travel, track written by Richard Berry, first recorded, I think 1960, the first release, best known certainly in retrospect circles from the version by the Sonics, released in 1965. Sano and the Saints with Have Love Will Travel. And I thank you again for joining me for Retrospect. I invite you to fill your boots with back episodes via all good podcasting platforms. And I invite you to drop me a review. And I'm reliably informed the best places to do that are Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Podchaser, and Castbox. And of course, you can contact me via Retrospect 60s Garage Punk Show on Facebook and Instagram. Leaving you with a track off the Battle of Ratfink Hill, crude, unissued Pittsburgh instrumentals 1961 to 1963. The band is the Mad Hatters. This is Rawhide, and I'm Phil Gray. Catch you next week. Connect with Retrospect. Retrospect Garage Punk Radio on Facebook and Retrospect 60s Garage Punk on Instagram. And for back episodes, find Retrospect 60s Garage Punk Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and lots more great podcasting platforms.
Am I supposed to be a big fan?